don't be ridiculous, Andrea. Everybody wants this.
Not no more. Now, that used to be the deal. That used to be the deal, that everybody wanted that. Everybody wanted that. Little so-called black girls, little so-called black brothers, because I don't want to say boys, okay? We're not slaves, okay? We're not slaves, and that's basically what boy means. So I don't want to use that word, but yeah, little brothers and sisters were always to believe that when it came to this whole transatlantic slavery, when it came to slavery, period, it was just us. Whole wretched old us, the Negroes, as they used to call us. But now, as we are learning today, because we are on the information highway, baby, and we have entered the age of Aquarius, and just as it says in their good book, okay, all things hidden will be revealed, okay? All these things that you've been hiding, and we are here, baby, we are here. So I know that this information is floating around all over YouTube, but I have to do my spin on it, and I have to make it available for my tribe, my audience, okay? So yeah, let's get on into it without further ado. So they were white and they were slaves. Now, copyright disclaimer. Let me give my copyright disclaimer very quickly before I go any further. I am not doing this video to insult anyone, to put anyone's race, nationality, creed, whatever down. Okay, I am simply doing this to spread awareness, because that is what my channel is based on, right? Truth, spreading awareness, re-educating, and setting the record straight to the best of my ability, right? From the information that I gather, right? But I also always implore you all to go out there and find out on your own. Do your own research. I implore you to do that. It's imperative that you do that. Don't take my word for anything, okay? I am not a linguist. I am not a master teacher. I am a student, okay? But this information here, I want my little brothers and sisters to know, right? I want my little brothers and sisters in my circle, in my tribe, my little cousins, my little nieces and them, to know the truth. That, baby, and when you sit up in that classroom and all they teaching you about every year is your ancestors on them slave ships and the transatlantic slave trade, and how you just pretty much come up from slaves. Because, listen, I'm a 70s baby, and that's all we ever got taught. That's all we ever got taught. We never got told about this, that they were even slaves at all. We never got told about this, so let's go ahead and jump into this and stop playing around, stop wasting time. All right, so let's go ahead and dive right on into it. So, yeah. So, they were white and they were slaves. The Untold History of the Enslavement of Whites in Early America, Michael A. Hoffman II. All right, so let's go ahead and let's go right here, and let's go to the table of contents, right? And so, inside my table of contents, let's just start right here. White slavery in ancient and medieval Europe, because I started this series in a few videos before, right? You can go on my playlist and look it up. It might be on Big Sister Live playlist, because I believe I did it live, right? As now, I'm putting this up live, right? This is a live recording, right? So, I'm here. I'm in the audience, put it like that. I'm in the audience, right? So, I didn't start from here, but I want to start from here today, right? So let's click on this and let's go to white slavery in ancient and medieval Europe, right? Let's take it on back to the beginning, right? Among the ancient Greeks, despite their tradition of democracy, the enslavement of fellow whites, even fellow Greeks, was the order of the day. You hear this stuff, y'all listening to this, man. Pay attention, pay attention. Among the ancient Greeks, despite their tradition of democracy, oh, they so democratic, right? The enslavement of fellow whites. What does that mean? Well, that means it was being done by other whites. See, this is why sometimes I say to y'all, mind your business Just sit back and observe. Don't be so quick to always want to get all involved in everything. When you see them people over there arguing and going at each other's necks and at each other's heads, leave them be. Let them do what they do, man. And that's what the Palm people been doing that for a long, long time, as you're getting ready to see, as we seeing right now, okay? The enslavement of fellow whites, even fellow Greeks, was the order of the day. Aristotle considered white slaves as things. Things. Now, why would they do that, though? What would make them feel like there's some white people that need to be slaves and then there's some people that, we just gonna run shit. We just gonna rule everything. But y'all no, not y'all. And not that y'all. Y'all get them inside them caves. Yeah, put them in there. See? But that just goes to show slavery is an old institution, okay? It's nothing new here. Nothing new here under the sun. It's an old institution, okay? Barbarism, okay? A tumultuous background is part of the history. And again, let me give my copyright disclaimer. Fair use is granted under the Copyright Act of 1976 for news, commentary, criticism, tutorials, education, teaching. I'm probably missing something, and if I am, I apologize for that, but basically it's in the descript at the beginning of the video, and it's down in the descript, okay? So, yeah, that is my copyright disclaimer. Y'all must remember, on my channel, it's not made for babies. You got to be gay high to ride this ride. And over here, we bring things raw. I'm not into mincing my words, okay? And I will try to refrain from doing or saying anything to insult anybody. But yeah, I just want to get all that out the way before we get rolling. Because once I get rolling, we gonna be rolling. You hear me?
Are you serious right now, bro?
That's right. So let's go. Okay, so let's go. Now, it says the enslavement of fellow whites, even fellow Greeks, was the order of the day. Wow, so that was just something to do. This is just something, hey, look. Listen, this is just what we do, man. And you want to know what we do when we, for a good time? Well, this is what we do. We go and round up a couple of white people. Yeah, that's what we do. And like it says right there, Aristotle considered white slaves as things. Don't that sound familiar? Now listen up. We talking about medieval Europe here. That sounds very familiar. Aristotle treated them as things, white slaves as things, because that's basically just how they treated us, right? And pretty much how the Moors treated them, right? So this thing has just been going back and forth, ain't that? That's what it sounds like to me. But let's keep pushing, okay? So, the Roman also had no compunctions against enslaving whites, who they too termed a thing. See this, when you look at my thumbnail, you see it on my thumbnail too, right? You see that on my thumbnail, because I got that on my thumbnail. The Romans, right, with the shackles around their neck. So that's falling right in line with what we got right here. That's why I put that there. The Romans also had no compunctions against enslaving whites, who they too termed a thing. In his agricultural writings, the 1st century BC Roman philosopher Varro labeled white slaves as nothing more than tools that happen to have voices. Wait a minute, what? And this is medieval Europe, medieval. Wait a minute now. White people was being talked about like that? Treated like that? Get the heck out of here. Y'all got to be jobbing me. You got to be jobbing me. Got to be jobbing me. White people was being treated and spoken about in that manner? No, couldn't be. They treated us so horribly. All of them made us feel like for years like, move nigga, get out of here nigga, like we wasn't nothing. You know, look at them old savages over there. You know, they're just ignorant peasants. Look at them. You know, Margaret Sanger and all the other members of this eugenics and all these other movements of theirs talking about us like, you know, calling us feeble-minded and whatnot. But all the while, look at this. I'm just saying, hey, listen, man, I told you got to be yay high, ride this ride, and I'm going to have my moment. Yeah, I'm going to have my moment right now. I'm not going to insult nobody, but I'm going to have my moment, because for all the years of my 54 years on this planet, you've had your moment with me and my people, right? My brothers and sisters, my people, right? My members of my tribe, right? So yeah, I'm going to have my moment. And that's all. No pun intended. It's all in love, baby. It's all in love. It's all in love, right? So, in his nothing more than tools that happen to have voices. Ooh. Instrumente vocal. Cata the Elder, discoursing on plantation management, proposed that white slaves, when old or ill, should be discarded along with worn-out farm implements. Wait a minute, you hold on, what? You hold...
Huh?
Did y'all just hear that? Oh man, I gotta read that over. Let's read that one more time. Let's take that from the top. Roman philosopher Varro, and listen, get your pen and your paper, because you might want to jot down the name of some of these people, some of these dates, some of these books that's going to come up, so you can go look all this stuff up, verify it all for yourself, okay? So we can teach our babies the truth, so our little needy brothers and sisters can stop going around here and feeling so lowly and so poorly about themselves, like, oh, woe is me. I don't come from nothing but slaves, and my family wasn't this and wasn't that, and then it's all, you know. No, we need to break that cycle. We need to break that cycle right now, okay? So let's read that from the top one more time. Roman philosopher Varro labeled white slaves as nothing more than tools that happen to have voices, instrumente vocale. Cata the Elder, discoursing on plantation management, proposed that white slaves, when old, now what this sound like? Don't this sound familiar, y'all? Come on, somebody, come on. When white slaves got old or sick, they should be discarded along with worn out farm tools, y'all. Come on, man. Are you kidding me? What? If I look a little happy right now, I'm not really happy. I'm not really happy. I'm sorry, I can't hold it. You can see it on my face, right? You can see it right? Because that's the exact same thing they did to us. And some of you all, grandparents apparently, right? Because you swear to God that it was you. All us on this so-called transatlantic slave trade. And that was all. It was just all you, right? We was all piled up on these boats like this over here, right? Ridiculousness, right? Look at this. Yeah, this was all us right here, all piled up on these boats like this, right? I don't even know how insane, but let me crack your hair real quick. And I got to give a special shout out and a thanks to Uncle Rod Hayes for teaching us this. Right here, check it out. Look at this. Where is it at? Here, boom. Yeah, this is the image right here. Let's blow it up. Let's open it up. Look at this. Look familiar? Exposing the slave trade hoax. What's this? This right here, I could take this out in the middle. Don't pay this some attention. But this is Luis DeGore. I think that's DeGore. I think that's how you pronounce his name. Who invented the daguerreotype, the daguerreotype. I keep forgetting how to pronounce that word. I looked it up and forgot again. But anyway, the first commercially manufactured photograph camera. Yeah. See, I meant to go back a little further because what I'm trying to prove right here is why they always show us these drawings. Look at these drawings, y'all. Y'all know what this is. This the old famous slave ship. Yeah, the old famous slave ship they love to show all the time and then show us like this all piled up on there like sardines in the can, right? But all the while, looky here. No, say it ain't so. Who's that hanging up with the bloody back? Wait a minute, what? Them two? So when was this happening? Because what was both of these going on at the same time? So while down the road over here at Mr. Ben's, not Mr. Ben Johnson, look, that's my granddad's name, y'all. I ain't mean to say that, but that must be came out because I said Johnson. But at Mr. Johnson's plantation, you got some slaves, and then if you go across the field right over there to Mr. Springfield's plantation, you got some white slaves. So is that what was going on, y'all? Huh? We was all slaves together, all of us just all chained up, tied up together, singing Kumbaya, Kumbaya, working on the chain. Yang, all day long they sing. Is that what it was? Come on, man. Stop playing with me. It doesn't make no sense. Just like this don't make no sense. Look at these people. Would y'all look at this? All our lives, this is the image that we have been being given of all these people piled all up on top of each other, just going to the bathroom on each other every day for months and months on that open water. Some of them ain't never even been on a boat out to sea. So you know they had to be seasick. You know they had to be petrified. And when you're petrified, bodily functions and things just start to happen. So they was doing all of that all on top of each other, and it's amazing to believe that anybody even made it to the Americas alive or not riddled with disease. Huh? Hold on. Got the hiccups here. But yeah, that's amazing. That's amazing that anybody even made it and was not riddled with disease. You dig what I'm saying? Come on, man. Stop playing with me. You know, it makes no sense. But looky at this. Can y'all see this? Okay, let me close this back up right here. Now look at this. What is this? This is a sky view of Notre Dame. Hold on, wait a minute, because this looks very, very similar to this. But this is the blueprint and a drawing, which is what they always give us, a drawing of the supposed alleged one of the slave ship, right? Which, coincidentally, they said the first slave ship was named the Good Ship Jesus. And they said that every first slave that was loaded onto a ship was named Adam and Eve. Now, I had read that and came across that information some years ago, okay? To be totally honest with y'all, I never really did any deep sea diving on that information, but I'm sharing it with you all right now, right? So, but yeah, this is what we always told. We always told that we always shown this. But when we look at this sky view of Notre Dame, doesn't it look rather familiar? Doesn't it look rather identical? Huh? Looks identical to me. So what gives? Because that damn near look like the same thing to me. That looks like the same outline. That looks like, look at this. This is the outline of Notre Dame, right? Now, when we take this sketch right here, looking at the sketch, the outline of it and everything, and we come down here and we look at the good old slave ship, don't that look rather identical? I mean, I'm just saying, now, that's a coincidence? No, that can't be right. What are you trying to say to me? Are you trying to say to me that this was the blueprint for this? Because if it never really happened, and if ships, cargo ships didn't even come around to the 1800s, the late 1800s to be exact, damn near 1900, by the time the cargo ships came around, right? And you know we got to thank our brother Dame Calloway for teaching us that. So y'all didn't even have no cargo ships till 1850, and I also have it in a PDF file. I'm gonna try to find it and see if I can show it all to you, because there's a PDF file that I snatched up from where did I get that from? I can't remember the exact name of it, but it's one of those sharing file sites. You can download PDFs from there, and you can also share PDFs, because I do both, right? But yeah, it's from a book. These are actual PDFs from actual books, right? From actual books and writing, right? So in here is really the history of shipbuilding, ship making, and yeah, they didn't have no cargo ships back then, no 1619. They had no ships big enough to put nobody on, so if they didn't have no ships big enough to do all of this, then they had to come up with a scenario. How are we gonna bring this to life? What we grafting this off of? This so-called ship that we put out on the big blue sea and went over there to Africa and snatched up all the millions and millions of people. Like all these millions and millions of people, just let y'all come over there and just snatch them up and throw them on these ships like that. And we know what warriors our ancestors were. Come on, man. Please stop playing with me. Please stop playing with me. Stop playing with my mind. Stop playing with my mind. For real, this is what I'm trying to say. Stop playing with me, because y'all are the real, imposters. They the real imposters, as we getting ready to find out. Let's go. Yup. So let's go. Jump back over here. All right. So it says, look at that. Like old farm animals, man. Worn out farm animals. Really, just discard them, like worn out farm animals. But ain't that the same thing they was doing to us? So you mean to tell, yeah, when they say that story was told in reverse, y'all, it was really told in reverse, okay? Because ain't no way in the world, y'all, the exact same thing was happening to us. Where? Across the field, huh? So while black slaves was being held across the field in Mr. Ben's plantation, Mr. Johnson's plantation, right? Y'all had white slaves being held across the field in Mr. Smith's plantation. Get that out of here, man. It don't even make no sense, man. It don't make no sense. It don't make no sense. Boy, oh boy, oh boy. But yeah, like old instruments. What do I keep doing? Okay. Julius Caesar enslaved as many as 1 million whites from Gaul, some of whom were sold to the slave dealers who followed his victorious legion. See, I keep doing this, but for some reason it keeps looking like it's messing me up. William D. Phillips Jr., Slavery from Romans time to early transatlantic trade, page 18. See, notice how that don't say African American. Notice that doesn't say early African transatlantic slave trade, right? That just says early transatlantic trade. See, you need to pay attention to things like that, because things like that are direct clues. In AD 319, the Christian emperor of Rome, Constantine, yes, it was Constantine that even formulated this whole Christianity. Council of Nicaea, was it 325 AD? Look it up, okay? Ruled that if an owner whipped his white slave to death, he should not stand in any criminal accusation if the slave dies. Come on, man. Either they taking this right out of black slavery, African slave trade, or one of these things didn't happen. Because don't tell me both of these things happened at the same time to the same people. And when I say the same time, yes, I do mean the same time, because I'm going to show y'all something else real quick. Hold up. Now, this right here, look at this. This right here is the 1638 Maryland Doctrine of Exclusion. There's a very important reason why I went back to here, because I'm going to show y'all something, right? So now, look right here. The Maryland Doctrine of Exclusion was collectively written by the Maryland Colony Council in 1638 and states the following. Neither the existing black now mind you, this is Maryland, 1638, right? Maryland, 1638, right? So hold on, let's jump over here real quick. Let me show y'all. So now, let's jump forward in our book right here to this page, right? I'm going to go back to where I was reading from, but check this out. I got to let y'all see this. Because we trying to figure this out, right? We need to put the kibosh on this, right? Because I'm trying to figure out what's both of these things going on. Because the same things y'all told us was happening to these African slaves was happening to these so-called black American Indians, right? The exact same things. You know, they were the Negroes, right? They was Negroes, labeled as Negroes, right? And if you look on some of your elders' birth certificates, like your big mama and them, it probably says Negro, okay? Like my big mama's does, okay? Learned that from my auntie, okay? But, yeah, it's crazy because what's going on here? Was all of these things just going on at the same time, or was somebody lying? Maybe it was that only one of these incidents was really occurring. And as we keep on digging and and the proof keep coming out and all this information keeps popping up, it is looking like it was, it's really looking like it was them palm people, okay? It's really looking like that, okay? But, yeah, so right here we got a Massachusetts Court of Assistance whose records date to 1633, Massachusetts. Now, this was in Massachusetts, right? Okay, two different places, but look at the year. 1633, we find in 1638 the scripture of a white man, one Giles player, as having been delivered up for a slave. Now, that's crazy because if I come back over here, right? If I come back over here, now where was I at? See, what happened? If I come back, did my picture go away? My picture went down, it looked like. But if I don't worry about that, guy, but y'all saw that, right? That's the doctrine of exclusion. Now, that doctrine of exclusion was what? Maryland, 1638. So, at the same time, like I said, in one field you had black slaves, and then right across the field, you had some white slaves. Or we was all slaves together. All of us slaves together, but somehow or another, these people wind up going around the world, making the world believe that they superior. They superior when everything in nature says that it was the Negroid, the Negaru Salau, the Negroid race that came first. And we can go all the way to their historians like Alfred Churchward, even though they don't like to give him no credit no more today. I wonder why that is. Okay, we can go all the way to over here. Let's look right here real quick. Let's look right here. We can come right here. Okay, and this is just a little snippet I took from Primitive primitive man. This is from Albert Churchward. Okay, look him up. He was the first, the little red man. Okay, the Adama. He was the first, the little red man of the earth. We all know who the red man was when they referred to the red man. That was referring to copper-colored people. Another name for that is black people. Okay? From the pygmy evolution continued progressively in the following order. Now, I must agree with a lot of this. So we had the Bushmen. We know the Bushmen to this day is said to be the oldest living human in the world, right? Now, you had the Bushmen, you had the Masaba Negro, you had the Neolithic Negro, you had the Massa, and you had the Mongoloids, and then we had the so-called Aryanists, which would be your Caucasian, right? That would be the Caucasian, right? And so, yeah. And then we look over here by the master teacher, Dr. Malachi Z. York, Baba Yanun. We can see right here coming out of Let's Set the Record Straight. Set the Record Straight. You can see right here the Negroid or the Olmecs, as the Aztecs called them, because of their homeland, which was Nuba. Would come first because the dominant progressive gene, let's slide back up here, I don't want to miss nothing. Now this is the answer to the question. Somebody asks us the question. How do we know that the African, the Negaru, right, the Negroid was first, right? How do we know that? That's basically the question. According to the historian Ivan Van Sertima and others, the Olmecs were a mixture of three people: Mongoloid, Negroid, and Caucasoid, right? This is not totally incorrect, because it's not. It's just out of order. See, because the black germ or seed would have to be first. It comes before the brown or the yellow or the red, right? It comes before, right? We talking about that comes before, right? So, or the red seed, right? So, yeah, because you would have your Negaru, that's your Negaru Salau, and then you have your Magaru Salau, which is the Mongoloid, and then you have your Caucasian Salau, which is yeah, so it goes in that order. You have Negroid, Mongoloid, Caucasian, right? So we would go in that order. And Negroid is always first because it is the dominant gene. Who don't know that? So when these folks is running around here always talking about, you know, they superior to who? How could you be? By everything in nature, in science, that is a recessive gene, right? White. No disrespect, no, not to insult anyone. This is science I'm talking here. It is a recessive gene, okay? And the dominant gene is and is proven to be that of the Negaru, right? Negroid. So, let's get that straight, let's get that clear. Okay, let's get that straight, let's get that clear, okay? Let's see right here. Okay, here we go. So I just wanted to show you all that and point that out and make that into comparison with that picture that I had showed y'all. And I didn't even realize I took that down so fast. But yeah, I'll bring that back up in a little while, but I want to get back over here to where I was, okay? So let's go back to where I was, okay, which was right here. Okay, so we're going to jump back over here real quick. Okay, so the Romans enslaved thousands of early white inhabitants of Great Britain who were known as Angles, from which we derive the term Anglo-Saxon. as a description of the English race. Now, it's very interesting when we talk about this English race. When we talk about, because I was watching, I was sitting back and I was listening to the brothers over there's Smoke Signal the other night. You know, sometimes when I'm working, I like to just turn that on and just listen to it. I do that with a lot of people that I do follow. You know, shots fired to all the people that I do follow. Okay, round of applause to y'all. Okay, so yeah. So and they were asking, one of the guys was saying something about all white people being the same, right? So I put in the chat that there were 6 species of the white race, of the Caucasian, right? Now this is, of course, it's all dealing with science, right? It's all dealing with science. I mean, a lot of this information is very old. I know it's very new to a lot of people, but it's old to people like myself. You know, someone coming up in the right knowledge, should I say, right? But yeah, so, and the question, and he kept saying how, no, all white people the same, all white people the same. And again, this is no disrespect to anyone. Okay, if it's getting too hot for you in my kitchen, then you are free to leave. As I stated in the beginning, you must be yay high to ride this ride. Okay, I'm not mentioning my words over here. I'm not. We're not doing that. We're grown over here. My channel is not for babies. Okay, so if anything that I'm talking, because all I'm talking right now is science, you can go and validate anything I say up here, and you will come to the same conclusion. Okay, you will come to that same truth. Okay, so, and he kept saying that, oh, well, all white people is the same, all white people is the same, and some people go, you know, most of the people were like, no, and then I had mentioned that, you know, there were six, which one they call, types or species to Caucasoid, right, to the Caucasoid race, all right, same thing with every other race. There's other sub-races, right, there's sub-races in different species, right. And so what we're going to find is that, yeah, these people were treating each other differently because they knew that we ain't all the same. It's kind of the same thing with us. That's why we was always treating each other differently, right? So you had Zulu that would sometimes take the pygmy, right? And make them be their servants, right? Some people will say, oh, they took them and enslaved them. However you want to say things, right? However you want to word it, right? But they would take them and pretty much make them be their servants, because a lot of times certain tribes were looked at as the lesser tribe, the lesser race. It's all inhumane. I don't agree with any of it, but you know, we find a lot of these things occur throughout history in many different races, right? So yeah, and there's further proof. I'll show you something else in a minute to validate it, to back that up. Okay, but so here we go. Pope Gregory I witnessed blonde-haired, blue-eyed English boys awaiting sale in a slave market in Rome. Inquiring of their origin, the Pope was told they were angels. See, they dressed them up like, oh, they just angels. These is angels. I mean, think about it. Any angel you ever saw, wasn't there always some little white boy? It was always some little white boy. You very rarely saw a woman angel, huh? Always some little white boy, huh? Cupid, all of them, all these little angels. It's always a boy, always a male. Where's the feminine energy at in any of that text, huh? You're not there. We're not there. Another problem. Okay, we'll save that for another day, okay? But they was told that they were angels. Gregory replied, non-angly, said angly, not angels, but angles. Not angels, but angles. When the Franks conquered the Visigoths in southern Gaul, huge numbers of whites entered the slave market. After Charlemagne's conquest of Saxony, during which the pagan Saxons were enslaved, he set up a network of parish churches parish churches to provide for the maintenance of the priest and the church. Those living in the parish were to donate a house and land as well as a male and female Saxon slave to the church for every 120 people in the parish. Do you hear that? See, this is where all this landlords going around here thinking that they so superior, they just, above everything. I'm the Lord of the land. I'm the Lord of the land. Yeah, from all of this kind of stuff, because landlords back in the days were given a lot of rights. And they still have that air about them to the date. Okay? But y'all hearing that? What was going on with that? Wow. Yeah, they was really treating their people grimy, man. I'm telling you, they were treating their people grimy. So the next time, because I'm going to get out of here and I'm going to come back with a part 2, okay, tomorrow. So y'all come on back tomorrow if you want to see the part 2. If you like it so far how it's going, come on back, because I said I was going to be uploading this by 10, and I'm kind of running behind schedule, and it's already a little after 10. I apologize, y'all, when y'all see this is going to be after 10, but I apologize, okay? So, yeah. Y'all come on back tomorrow. We're going to wrap this. We're going to get back into this for part 2. But, yeah, look at that. That's what they was doing to their people, man. They was taking their people and making their people give them trades. Oh, Charlemagne. Oh, Charlemagne, huh? Why you want to have that name? I don't understand that. You know what I'm saying? Like, that name holds so much negative energy behind it. Right? Okay? I mean, for real. But, look. He set this church up to make them be his servants. Yeah. For every 120 people, y'all gonna have to give me something. Y'all gonna have to give me some land. Y'all gonna have to give me, I need a house. A whole house? What? Yo. But we gonna be back tomorrow, man. I'm gonna end this one right now. I know it's short, but we'll be back tomorrow and pick it right back up, okay? So y'all stay tuned. Come on down and join your sister. I'll be back, okay, tomorrow. Peace. Love y'all. Sky's not the limit. If you can see it, you can think it, you can grab it, you can have it. Be good to each other. Love yourself. Love one another. Peace. Till next time. Okay, y'all? And, yeah. Till next